Hey everybody, welcome back to the Carryandcut YouTube channel. And if you're new here, I sure do appreciate you stopping by and watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also leave a comment on this video below. Really does help the channel out. And today let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, I guess you could say. We have the Spyderco smock in front of us, and we're going to do a deep dive and take a full review of this knife right here. And this video would not be possible without the help from our buddy over there at the Knight's Edge, Neil Knight, over there at the Knight's Edge YouTube channel. He is a great guy. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to his channel. He has a whole bunch of, a whole entire slew of knife collection he's got over there. Whole bunch of videos. He has a whole bunch of live streams, disassemblies, reviews, all sorts of cool stuff over there. So make sure you go over and check out Neil's channel, the_Knights_Edge on YouTube. Great guy. He's definitely growing in popularity really fast. He's already over 3,000 subscribers. So he's doing really good stuff over there. And make sure you check out his Saturday morning live streams. I think it's 10:30. Central time, I'm pretty sure, is what his time frame is. So he does a lot of cool stuff over there. Does some giveaways and all sorts of cool stuff. So make sure you check him out. Neil, really do appreciate it. So sorry for the shameless plug. We had to get that out of the way. So what we're looking at here, this is a beautiful example of the Spyderco smock. So this is rocking the actual Kevin Smock custom. This is the Nuke Blue titanium anodized scales. Check that thing out. It has some awesome, real beautiful colors into it. This blue is it's like a, real shocking blue, I guess you could say. Maybe that's why it's called Nuke Blue. Get that out of there. It's a little bit too busy in the actual camera frame there. So yeah, this is, I feel like one of Spyderco's more, I don't want to say iconic models. I feel like that's kind of doing him not a shame to this knife or a shame to Spyderco in general, but it's definitely easy to spot, I guess you could say. These speed holes they got going in here, that is something that, you really tell, you can point out from a mile away, I guess you could say, from the Spyderco smock. So it's really cool. Has a really different blade shape. You don't see a lot of stuff, on this design language from a lot of other Spydercos, with that being the flipper tab, the super deep jimping in here, and of course, the most iconic part of the knife is this button, operated compression lock. So, button locks have been a big craze in the knife scene here lately. But this is a completely whole different thing. This is actually still a compression lock like all the other Spydercos we know and love. It's the Para 3 lightweight. Of course, it has a compression lock, but you see the compression lock is going to be on the other side of the knife. So normally it's going to be on the left-hand side of the knife, but the compression is actually on the right-hand side. But the button, you push the button, disengages that lock, and that thing just falls right shut. This has definitely had the secondary detent ball removed, so that is another thing that they had to do over there. I don't know if that was just like a Taiwan thing to be able to ship them out of the country or not, but they had a secondary detent ball that once you press it would like kind of stop the blade right there, so it wouldn't be considered a gravity knife, I guess you could say. And this thing is wicked. Of course, that secondary detent ball was removed. I'm going to do a disassembly video on this thing, and we'll actually do a deep dive, break this thing down, and see what, there's like a little track in here in the actual tang of the blade, I'm pretty sure, for what that is. So I'm getting into the weeds here, but overall, this is this really cool knife right here. So this was first introduced and produced in 2019 in collaboration with, of course, Kevin Smock. He's a well-known, award-winning custom knife maker. He has a really cool, does some really cool stuff and some really high-end stuff at that too. So this was actually based after his SK23 model. That was the custom knife model that he, first designed. And I'm not really sure the whole story that went into it, but I know, I don't know if he got a hold of Spyderco or what the whole deal was, but it's, this is the brainchild they made. It's a really cool, just really cool design. It's like kind of a shocking thing. It's one that's really stood out to me for a long time. Really wanted to get one. I've had a few opportunities to buy one. I ended up going with some other models because I wasn't too sure how I would like this one. I think it was GP Knives came out with the Rex 45 with like a white G10. That thing was really sweet. Ended up not being able to get that one. Ended up going with another knife instead. But, that's how things work. I've never actually had one in hand till just now. So, really cool. Of course, I went over the button release compression lock. This does have a kind of a reverse Tonto modified sheep's foot blade shape. It kind of almost gives me some like 940 vibes in some sense. If you can kind of see the similarities in that blade shape right there. It's not as aggressive as a, like the Tonto. I like, if you guys watch the Knife Center, David Sanderson, he hates the term reverse Tonto. So I do get that modified sheep's foot blade shape on this thing. It has this, really nice deep hollow grind. I don't even know if you want to call that saber height hollow grind. I'm not really sure what that means anyway, but we do have a pretty high hollow grind on this thing, and it makes it come down to a wicked sharp edge on this thing. We have S30V on the blade steel. This is coming out of the Taichung, Taiwan factory. So Taichung, Taiwan, they are known for their, super high quality. They do the Sage 5 series. They do a couple other ones. They do the Kapara. And, of course, a lot of the titanium knives that come from Spyderco come through that Taichung, Taiwan factory. So all the cool ones like the Spidey Chef, the Sleesh Bowie, the infamous Spyderco stovepipe, all those really cool off the wall. They have a lot of crazy designs coming out of that Taichung, Taiwan plant. Just really cool. And I forgot to say, with this thing actually having that, I want to say with that modified sheep's foot, but with the hollow grind, it really does take some out of the tip, but we still do have a pretty robust tip all the way, out into here. But once we get actually all the way down to that leading edge, it is really, really pokey. So, that's good, that's bad. This isn't really designed to be the most tough workhorse, I guess you could say, but you could still, it's definitely a very capable knife, and, you can really do a lot of good work with this thing. It's a full-size knife. At least I'm going to say it's a full-size knife for my hands. I have slightly larger than average hands. Even when you're, choked all the way back into this finger guard right here, actually, I'm pretty sure it's probably meant to be for your middle finger. But if you even do put my index finger on this thing, I still have room for my pinky all the way down here. And you even have this really, I want to say aggressive finger choil. But you are getting close to that sharpened edge right there, so just be careful with that. But you can still get a full, 4-finger grip anywhere you want to. Really good purchase on the knife. You can really bear down on this thing and do some heavy cuts with it. So I want to, show, he did send over, Neil did, he sent over the factory scales that come on this thing. So they come with like a, I want to say it's like a G10 carbon fiber laminate type deal. Still really cool. There's, I guess that would be the overall look of it with the factory scales on it. And I know these titanium scales did put a lot of weight back on this thing. So I'm going to, we'll weigh this thing and see. I know it's kind of subjective because not everybody has these titanium scales on it. And I'm going to do a disassembly video on this knife too. So maybe when we do a disassembly, we'll put these ones back on and we'll see what the weight difference would be. So we'll just kind of reference that. We'll write that weight down. But super cool. Really do love these ergonomic lines. A lot of people don't like this funky deal we have going on right here. But this is actually because of that button. They needed some kind of space cut in the actual blade right there to be able to put that button on there. So another really cool thing about this knife is the multiple means of deployment. So of course it has a really nice flipper tab. Some people don't like this thing, and I almost wouldn't mind if we put some jimping right there. Just I'm not saying it's too slippery. It has a really nice 90-degree angle on it, so it's not too hard to catch, and it's kind of really actually hard to fail. But at that time, same thing, it would be nice to have a little bit of jimping right there, especially if you did like the lighter flick right there. But it's still easy to do. Wrap your finger around that pocket clip and rip that thing out. I know one thing a lot of people probably don't like with this knife is the standard pocket clip that comes with this thing. You're probably going to be, not so deep carry. So just like every other Spyderco knife that I actually have, I have some sort of deep carry clip on them. But of course, Neil already has this one figured out. I think this might even be an MXG or a Lynch clip. Not too sure. Not really sure on that one whatsoever, but I think it's probably going to be something like a that might be MXG deep carry. Whatever, does the same stuff, makes your knife ride in the pocket better, just way better overall, way better experience, at least in my mind. So I was going over blade deployment methods. Jeez, we're getting really lost here. So we got the flipper tab, works really well. You do the standard light switch, whatever you want to call it, lighter on it. You can actually push the button, flick it out like that, which is super nice. We got the reverse flick, and we got the actual thumb opener too. So the Spidey hole works awesome, has forever. That's probably one of the most key things that you see when you see Spyderco's, the trademark round hole Spidey hole. All right, so let's go ahead and measure the blade length right here. We're going to be at let's see. Almost right at that 3.5 inch mark, really close to the 3.5 inch mark. If not right at it, just a fuzz under 3.5 inch. Actual sharpened edge of the knife, we are right about 2 7/8 of an inch, right under 3 inches. So Make sure you check your local knife laws if you're interested in getting this knife. Should be pretty safe for a lot of people to get it though. So overall length, we're just right at almost 8 inches, maybe just a fuzz under 8 inches, but still great size knife, full size. Really do like it. Let's go ahead and get a weight on this thing. Well, why don't we do size comparisons here while we're at it. So up against the Paramilitary 2, we are definitely going to be a little bit smaller in package, but smaller lengthwise and widthwise. So that's another downfall to the PM2. Some people say is that it's extremely wide in the pocket. This round hole up here at the top, the beak of the blade, I guess you could say, does get in some people's way. And how about up against the Para 3? So we're definitely, that's pretty good trifecta of knives you can see right there. A lot of people well known and love Spydercos. We're going to be bigger than the Para 3, obviously, and smaller than the Para 2. So let's get a couple of these Spideys out of the way here. And let's go up against, how about we do the Shaman too? That'll be a pretty good one. So we are pretty much, handle length is going to be exactly the same, pretty much right on the money with this one. Just a little bit more actual blade. But I think we actually, we probably have a little more sharpened edge and blade length on the Shaman, but this is a whole entire different category going on with the Shaman. And let's do the Benchmade 940. We are really, really close right there. So I feel like this kind of be like a toe-to-toe contender, I guess you could say, with this knife. We're looking at the same blade steel, pretty much the same blade shape, even somewhat. I guess, you know, that's kind of debatable, but you do have a lot more sharpened edge on the 940, but overall length and, you know, package, it's going to be pretty much the same thing. Blade stock thickness is going to be pretty close. That'd be a good thing to carry profile against the PM2. But I'm not sure if these these aftermarket scales probably do make this thing a little bit wider. Yeah, I'm going to say just a fuzz, maybe not a whole lot more, but might be a noticeable difference. But definitely an actual, you know, weight, you're going to notice a difference right there. But still, pretty cool. And I'm definitely more a fan of the button actuated compression lock than I would be the axis lock. When I first started my knife journey, axis lock was all where it was, but now we're kind of graduating, moving on from it. And I got one more kind of honorable mention, I guess you could say. How about let's go over the TRM Bulldog. This is a you know, kind of a not so well-known knife, I guess you could say, in the community. It's kind of caught them by storm. I guess you could say TRM is a great company also, so I had to show them on here. It's we're getting somewhat, it's more of a Para 3 light, you know, kind of a Para 3 vibe on this one. And why don't we do a weight on this thing, and then we'll wrap this video up here. And go ahead and zero the scale out. So now I forgot, if I don't mention again, this is kind of be you know, subjective because it doesn't have the actual standard scales on it. So once we do the disassembly video, we'll try to you know, do something where we can figure out what the actual weight would be with the stock scales. So we're 4.7 ounces. So like I said, this has, you know, obviously it has steel liners now on top of the titanium scale. So it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a heavier knife. There we got 4.8. So we're right around that kind of category. Let's see what the Shaman weighs. So it's the exact same weight of the Shaman. So it actually does feel, yeah, this is a, you know, heavy duty knife. Everybody knows them. Everybody loves them. Well, a lot of people love them, I guess you could say. So yeah, if you're used to carrying the Shaman around and you want to get a smock that has titanium scales on it, then you're probably going to not notice much of a difference. At least it's going to be way smaller, thinner in the pocket, a lot easier to carry. So overall thoughts, this is definitely going to be a knife that I'm going to remember for a long time, and definitely be wishing that I would have bought one. I'm just going to go ahead and say it right there. I think this is an excellent value. I think time of filming, I'm going to have a link down in the description below, but I'm pretty sure they're anywhere from $200 to $225. You can find them. I know especially different knives are going to be on sale, different companies, but I'm probably going to try to link this to River's Edge Cutlery or something like that. And I don't have any affiliate links with those guys, but you know, feel free to go ahead and check them out. I'm going to have Neil's channel linked in the description below also. So for that price, I mean, I know Spyderco's prices, they're going to keep going up, especially this new year, but still you're getting a lot for this. You know, this super safe, you know, button actuated compression lock. The compression lock was already safe, you know, as it is. Finger safe lock, I'm kind of taken from a Knife Center over there, DC Anderson, David C. Anderson, I guess you could say. But it's a really, really awesome design. Love that reverse flick, and I just can't get over that flipper tab. Love the flipper tab on this thing, and it's just kind of unlike any other Spyderco I've ever used. and it's really cool. I'm a big fan of hollow grinds too. I actually did a live stream and I put a new edge on this thing. Still got a little bit of tuning up to do. I don't know if this was the factory grind on this thing or not, but it had a little bit of wonkiness going up here at the tip. But we're going to get that figured out for Neil and hopefully do a cut test with this thing also. So if you guys have any questions or concerns, comments, make sure to leave them down in the comment section below. I'd love to reach out with you guys, talk to you. It's really cool. Love all the support. Trying to get some more traction going here and try to grow the channel if I can. So Neil, thanks for a whole bunch for sending this knife over to me to look at. Really do appreciate it. And until next time, thanks guys.